Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way. You're here for the pre-match show for St Johnstone versus Celtic at McDermott Park at 12 o'clock today. My name is Ryan McGinlay at the Ryan McGinlay on the X handle, and today I'm delighted once again to be joined by Tony Haggerty, who is live at McDermott Park, Haggerty10 on the X handle. Tony, how are you doing this morning? How was your trip up?
Trip up was fine. The roads were very clear, excellent. There's a slight dusting of icing sugar, you would call it, on the park. In one of the areas from the centre circle down towards the 18-yard box, 6-yard box. But apart from that, the pitch looks absolutely great, Nick. So, yeah, all good. Looking forward to this today, Ryan, very much so.
Yeah, perfect conditions for a game of football, you would probably say. It's definitely a Scottish fixture this afternoon.
So, yeah.
And we're looking forward to getting into it. Before we get started, guys, once again, can we thank MPH Group for sponsoring today's pre-match video and post-match video, as well as all of the morning briefings. Videos brought to you by MPH Group, who are Scotland's award-winning family-run all-trade specialist covering all of mainland Scotland. Winter's rolling in, and if you're thinking of giving your home heating system a boost, then MPH has an enticing Navien Boiler Winter Promotion just for you. When you opt for a Navien Boiler installation through MPH Boilers, not only are you choosing top-tier efficiency, but you're also getting a free Navien Internet Controller. This gadget can crank up your boiler's efficiency to an impressive 98%, and the cherry on top is that they're covering the first year's service with no added costs. Why Navien? Well, they're gunning for Product of the Year at the H&V News Awards, which are the Oscars of the heating world. To top it all off, the Navien ON range comes with an up to 12 years parts and labour warranty, which is some serious peace of mind. A big shout out to MPH also, as they are nominated for Small Company of the Year at the same awards. MPH even offer flexible finance options, so gear up for the chill and consider making a smart move with MPH and Navien. All the links are in the description for any plumbing, heating, kitchens and bathrooms. We definitely know it's the winter now. We're definitely all feeling it. If you are interested, and we thank them once again for sponsoring the video, then please check out MPH Group, and all of their links are in the description, as I just said. Tony, just going back to this game, the game that's happening in round about an hour now. You know, it's nearly an hour until kickoff. What did you make of the team when it came out? I think some of the big flashpoints, the fact that Lewis Palmer's back as expected, but David Turnbull gets that start in the midfield that I think we were both calling for after his I think a well-deserved start given his numbers over the past few weeks. So I think this could be the perfect game for him today. I don't know what you think. What's your overall thoughts on that lineup?
First and foremost, I think about 10. I thought Tillio would replace Yang, but Tillio's not even in the substitutes bench, so I guess maybe he isn't up to the fitness required. He can play bit parts here and there, so yeah. But yeah, we spoke about Turnbull, didn't we? He's got a goal in him. You have to, you're going to come up against a team that are going to defend a lot today, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be robust, just the way St Johnstone, well, not so much St Johnstone, but Craig Levine sets his teams up. Only I don't see St Johnstone playing any different. Try to catch you on the counter and nick one at some point with one up front, so low block and all that kind of stuff. So might need a bit of Turnbull schwaz, as he calls it. Put a bit of schwaz on the ball to melt one from 20 odd yards. But do you know what, Ryan? I'm quite happy with that, because I want Celtic players to shoot. I don't think they do it enough from 20 yards. It's only since Palmer's come in, he's got some great technique, and Turnbull's really lethal from about 20 yards out. So if that's what it takes to sort of, get you up and running, I'm all for that. You don't shoot a goal, you don't score. I know it's a simple thing, but I just don't think Celtic as a team sometimes do it enough from distance. I don't know your thoughts on that, and I don't know what the stats are, but from the eye test, I don't see it a lot, unless it's Palmer hitting it sweetly and Turnbull hitting it sweetly. Not many others are inclined to hit them from 25 yards, are they?
No, I mean, O'Reilly hits him closer to goal, but even then, he's not really scored in a few weeks now. He's went a wee bit off. I would say he's went a wee bit off form since he came back from the international break. I know it's only been 2 games, but he's not been playing at the same level. It's up to a player like Turnbull to come in, take that opportunity, because in his head he's like, there's a good 6-7 months until the Euros. This is the chance to push. He'll have watched that. He'll have watched the draw yesterday with Scotland's group. First game of the group against Germany. He'll be desperate to get on that plane to Germany. The only way he can do so is if he plays games. Now he might try his hardest to not get called up anyway, but he's got to put himself in the best opportunity, in the best window to do so, and he can do that starting today by putting in a really good performance, of which I do expect him to do so, because he is a good player, David Turnbull. I think the reason why a lot of Celtic supporters are hard on him is because they know he's got the quality in his locker and he's just not got the consistency. As soon as he hits that consistency, then the rest of the league should probably fear him because he's got all the technical ability in the world. Yes, he is a bit slow on the ball, but he's technically a very good footballer. And if he can get that consistency going towards the back end of this season, then who knows what he can do. I mean, you're hoping that he can sign a new deal. If he's front and centre in the team just now, you want your assets to be safeguarded for the future. I guess we'll hear more about that in the coming weeks. You would imagine weeks and
Yeah,
months as you're going into the January transfer window. But just as a bit of an aside from the game, that's something that needs to get sorted out. We've got a player that's starting games who's out of contract in 6-7
yeah.
months, so that needs to get sorted one way or the other.
I think he's got a dual carrot here, hasn't he? He's trying to win another contract at Celtic, an extension to his deal, and he's also got the Euros in the back of his mind. And he can't do much more than he's already doing, Ryan. Possibly today, just showcase that talent, make that contract offer a formality. This is a stage here, and all eyes will be on him actually, because we know he's got that in his locker that he can score goals from distance. He's top scorer at the club, isn't he? Or up there alongside the top scorers.
Top in the league. He's top in the league with 7 goals. He's joint top with Tavernier.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever doubted his ability. It's just that I think people's complaint about Turnbull is that he slows things down, doesn't he? He's laborious, but he's deliberate in where he's placing the ball and passing the ball. That's the thing. There's a difference. I think he's more meticulous and he doesn't want to waste the ball whenever he gets it. It sometimes leads to him being dispossessed or being challenged because he thinks he maybe has more time. If you could have David Turnbull, a wee bit with more speed and more tempo, what a player you would have in your hands,
Wouldn't
right?
be at Celtic. I don't think he'd be at Celtic.
Right.
I think he'd already be in the Premier League, to be honest with you. I think that's the one thing that's holding him back. His physical attributes, there's nothing wrong technically. He's such a good striker of the ball.
Yeah.
He strikes the ball with such precision, but he's just missing that half yard of pace to become a top player.
And I've said to you before, I'd be loath to let him go because I think he's a cracking footballer. He has got a lot in his locker, and I hope today he steps up to the plate today and he shows you exactly why. Because this is an important game for Celtic today in more ways than one. Everybody was waxing lyrical after Aberdeen, and it all came to a grinding halt against Motherwell. So Celtic need to get back in the saddle again. And they got away with one against Motherwell because their rivals couldn't capitalise. So you don't want any kind of malaise to sit in. You were talking about the 2-game slump. So let's not make it 3. Let's go out there and send an emphatic message today with an up-tempo, upbeat and decent display and put St Johnstone to the sword, and scoring a few goals in the process. And I don't bet against Turnbull getting on the score sheet because of that. I think you'd be encouraging him. You get in range and you just have a shot at goal, right? And let others take that lead off you. And that's what I would be saying to him today, because he's deadly from 18, 20, 25 yards, isn't he? And he's really accurate. So I'd be saying, look, get into those positions because he takes up positions lovely as well. When he's on a park, he kind of glides around the football park, and you're probably you're kind of wondering why he hasn't kicked on Turnbull in a Celtic jersey. We got back to it was just other players that were better than him in that pecking order. But when you get opportunities like this, you have to force the manager's hand and say, right, yellow jersey time, I've got it, I'm going to run with it and I'm going to show you exactly why. So, like you, I'm expecting a big thing or a big display from Turnbull today, or a display that says, in simple minds, don't you forget about me. About this contract.
Don't.
Yes, exactly. So make
I'm just
forget about him,
Yeah, I'm just going to go through the team, just reading it out in full for anybody that maybe can't see the team or just wants to hear the team out loud. So it's Joe Hart in goals. The back four is Taylor, Scales, Carter-Vickers and Johnson. The midfield is Turnbull, McGregor and O'Reilly. And it's Palmer and Yang supporting Kygo up front in the wing positions. The subs today are, if I can find them, the subs are Bain, Phillips, Holm, O, Tomoki, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston and Mikey Johnson. just looking at the subs, I don't know about you, but there just seems to be no consistency with the subs that are named whatsoever. There's, in some games, some players are getting... I know it's a big squad, and Brendan Rodgers has spoke about the fact that it's too bloated. He needs to cut it down in January, and certainly in the summer, to get more quality into that squad. But there's just no consistency. There's players coming in the team and then out of the team. You know, we've had Tellio last week who was there.
Yeah.
You know, a week forward, you would expect him to be training to get on the bench, and he's not even on the bench. You know, you've got Lagerbielke and Nawrowski. I think there's got to be a more concerted effort from people to ask about why these players are not playing. You know, I think this is a good opportunity at press conferences to ask why £8 million worth of player. Well, actually, it's closer to 10 million when you factor in Tillio and Kwon as well. £10 million worth of signings aren't even making the bench, which is a bit of a damning indictment, to be perfectly honest with you. What's your opinion on the subs bench and the lack of consistency with it?
There is a lack of consistency there, and you look at it, and you know it's lightweight, isn't it? When you look at that bench,
It's not the best. It's not the strongest it's ever been.
It's not the strongest, and I look at that bench and I think, who's coming on to really change this game around if you need it? Who's going to be that impact player? Home, possibly, and Mikey Johnson to possibly run it players, but I think everybody's kind of resigned to the fact that there are certain players that might not be there come January or the end of January, and you know, you just know that Celtic need to sign players because that bench doesn't fill you with great hope. You just hope that Celtic can get the job done before these guys come on, and it's, you know, and they're coming on and having a meaningful impact and maybe scoring a goal to add to the ones that they already have. Because if this goes, as I said to you before, people will start to panic if it's 0-0 at half time, won't they?
Somebody said that in the comments.
It's 0-0 again, yeah. So, you know, so Sheldon, yeah, well, Paul McLean, I was alluding to that in midweek myself, you know, but you didn't want to preempt stuff. But I look at that bench and I'm just hoping Celtic turn up the same way they did at Tynecastle, the same way they did it against Kilmarnock at home and Aberdeen at home. And, you know, that's why there's a big onus in guys like Turnbull today and Palmer to step up. Also want Kygo back in among the goals. I really want Kygo to, you know, my thoughts on him as playing as a striker. You know, so I just like to see him stay there, stay in the areas where it hurts. Leave it to others to create for him. I think you have to play to his strength because you're negating that influence at times, and everybody, I've written about that extensively, I've spoken about it, so I just want him to be in where it hurts today, Kyogo, and I think he can hurt St Johnstone.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about the last time. I'm trying to think back to the last time Kyogo scored more than one goal in a game. You know, all of his appearances, it seems to have been like single goals. That's what I would love to see today, obviously, because that would mean that Celtic are doing well and they're winning the game. But I'd like to see Kyogo maybe score 2 or 3 in the one game. Yeah. He needs to get back on the horse, as they would say. I think he's been up and down this season. You know, his record in the league, the fact that David Turnbull's the top goal scorer for Celtic in the league indicates that Kyogo is not getting the service that's required up front for Celtic. I know he's trying to be this. He's trying to be a jack of all trades, trying to be the midfielder as well. I know your opinions on that on that game style from Kyogo, and I've got to be honest, I'm getting to that point myself. You know, keep him doing what he does, because or get him back to doing what he does best, because Celtic have got so much creativity in that midfield with Matt O'Reilly, with David Turnbull, who's got a goal in him as well, with Cal McGregor, he can be creative, as well as the wide players. Palmer's like another midfielder due to his deliveries into the box and his goals and assists. Allow Kyogo to do his own thing, do his thing up front, allow him to stay. If he only gets 5 or 6 touches, I'd much rather those 5 or 6 touches be in the box when it matters, rather than 20, 30, 40 yards from goal.
2 or 3 of them could be goals. The service is right, Ryan, and he's in those areas that matter and hurt. And you hear me banging on about this a lot. You know, players have a natural position for a reason, right? In and around the danger area, the corridor of uncertainty, the 6-yard box, or penalty spot in the opposition goal. That's where Kyogo comes alive. He really does come alive. and you need to be tuned into that wavelength. Matt O'Reilly tunes into it quite a lot because he can spot his runs and he's a clever footballer. Kyogo's a clever footballer. But you have to be alert. Whenever you pick up that ball, my first thought would be, where's Kyogo? Because 9 times out of 10 he's made a run. He's actually probably on his bike before you even pick up the ball. So you have to be scanning all the time because it's not that Kygo is ineffective. He's just not being picked out and not being picked out in the areas where it's his natural habitat, and that's that area from the penalty spot to the opposition goal that I'm talking about. And you have to switch on to that. You have to play to a guy with that strength, or else he can be rendered ineffective. And that's why I'm not a lover of him playing 30 yards from goal. It's just not his style. It's not his game. I won't argue with the manager because the manager would sit me down and tell me why he's doing it. I get why he's doing it. He wants him more involved. But see if Kyogo's only involved in 6 touches in the first half and he scores 2 goals or 3 goals, I'm happy with that. Everybody's happy with that because that's what he does. And that's what I want from him. And I think if he's not scoring, he can cut a forlorn figure, can't he? At any level of football, if you played and you were a striker, all you wanted to do was bust the net. And see what you didn't, you feel as if you haven't contributed. I know now it's all about goals and assists. Assists have become a big thing. Yeah, you can console yourself with that at times, but I don't think Kyogo consoles himself with the fact he's maybe set one up over 90 minutes. Much prefers to be the guy who's leveled it into the net, because that's just the way strikers are. They're selfish that way. They can be team players, but they're selfish in that sense. They just want to continually hit the back of the net, and that player thrives on that. That's when he's at his happiest, and that's when he helps out the team. If you get what I mean,
Absolutely.
That's selfish to be a team player because it's a team that benefit.
The game I watched last night, Newcastle, Alexander Isak was so good at doing that, at taking the ball from deep and running with it. He's a good player in that regard. £60 million worth. That's what a player like that can do. I'd rather Kyogo just focuses on his strengths, which is in and around the box. Yes, he is a good footballer. He's good at passing the ball as well, good at distributing. But I want my midfielders to be doing that personally. That's the midfielder's job. Goals should be an added bonus with the midfield. The goals should come from the striker. I know that's a very agricultural way of thinking about football, and I know I'm trying my hardest to do statistical pieces to back up strikers being more and providing more. But you've got to put it back to basics. And if your striker, who is the top man at the top of the pitch, isn't getting goals or getting goals to the same flurry and the same amount and volume that he did last season and the season before, then something's got to change. So I think either the speed of the ball getting to Kyogo needs to be quicker, or Kyogo needs to stay where he is and not drift in and around as much. And just stay where he's a predator. He's a predator in that box. He needs to stay there and be there when a delivery comes into the box. How many times have we seen that when Yang gets the byline, puts a ball in, and Kyogo's not there, because he's out wide or because he's further back trying to make things happen from the midfield. With Palmer, at least Palmer's a goal threat because he can shoot, he can cut in and shoot. But you need your main goal scorer to be a goal scorer, and that's what he'll be if he stays in the middle of the box.
What was the last goal Kyogo scored? Aberdeen. Matt O'Reilly, fall across the face, one touch bang. Right now, how many goals will be 62 career goals for Celtic so far have been that near post run and one touch bang into the net? I think we would conjecture a lot. I don't know the actual statistics, but it would be something worthwhile looking at, because that's his currency. That's what he does. You don't need to worry about Kyogo doing anything else, because if you feed him the ball in that way, he will score, because he will get in front of any defender because he's too switched on and he's too quick at times. But we have to get the ball in those areas. A couple of comments coming in. We need to get him the ball. I totally agree. Others saying it's down to Brendan's tactics and approach. That's possible. A bit slower and laborious, which it wasn't under Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou's gone. This is the new manager's stamp. We've spoken all about that. But the one thing you have to do quick is get the ball to Kyogo in and around the areas that matter. And then it's up to him. then if he isn't scoring, then you ask questions, you'd have a major concern. But the reason he's been negated is he's not getting the service, he's not getting the delivery, he's coming deeper, trying to affect it. And then when you say, when the likes of Yang are fizzing it across here, he's not there because he's trying to do too many other things, trying to be a hold-up guy or link up the play. And that's just not his natural game. His natural game is 12 yards from goal, those near post runs. Whenever somebody gets the ball out wide, running in there, and the rest, you know the rest, what happens after that. He usually sticks it in the net, doesn't he? So there's been a drop-off in that this season, as you can see from the way the team's playing. But the guy, Kygo's just not become all of a sudden a bad striker. It is to do with the way the team are playing, the supply and the delivery to him, and also other players being so switched on. Because even against Lazio, Kygo was still making excellent runs beyond the last defender and just failed to be picked out. So he's still doing what comes naturally to him. And I think they have to cater for that and play to his strengths. And I think if they do that today, then they'll get joy from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want everybody in the comments section, thank you to everybody that's joined us. We've got over 150 people watching at this point in time. Really do appreciate everybody's support. In the comments section,
72% of Kyogo's goals have been one touch bang goal, 6 yard box. Looked it up. Thank you, Claire, for that. Well, there you go. Backs up.
This is bread and butter.
Yeah, that's his trademark, right?
Yeah.
That's his currency. Thanks for that, Claire. I was too busy talking, or I would have tried.
No, you're absolutely fine. Just everybody in the comments, thank you for bringing a comment up. In the comments, if you could give your scoreline prediction for today and maybe the first goal scorer on the day, we'll try and bring up as many of them as we can.
We'll bring up this comment too, Ryan.
Was it, sorry?
So we'll bring up this comment too from Connor. Buzzing Hamish is joining the team. Look, he's more buzzing than the two of us guys, believe me. Tomorrow will be something. We'll look forward to that. We'll welcome Hamish big style tomorrow, but looking forward to that. But looking forward to this game, Ryan. Really am. It's cold, but hey, doesn't matter, does it? Big jacket.
If it's cold, if it's cold, that means the team need to heat up on the park, and they'll heat up by performing and getting. Yeah, and turning it on. They need to turn it on today. Their opposition today are a team that have been fairly buoyed by their new manager. Their record under Craig Levein since he joined the club, it's been almost instant. I know they got beaten their last game against Hearts, but I think it's 2 wins and a draw in the first 4 games. For a team that couldn't buy a win, it seemed like for a while. Craig Levein seems to have got a tune out of those players, and
we've had no problems earlier this season. No, the first points dropped for the season. Scottish St Johnstone, so there is no way that this is a given, and I'm treating it as a given that Celtic just need to turn up. They need to turn up, and they need to turn on the style, and they need to play. And they show no, hate the phrase Euro hangover, but nothing from midweek. You just go at it. This is it now. You are out of Europe for another year, so this is all you have now. This is your bread and butter. So you have to rank it up a notch, or ratchet it up a notch a bit now, because you're concentrating solely on winning this title and the Scottish Cup when those days come along. But start today and send out a real statement of intent in terms of tempo, the way you play, discipline, focus, all of the above, and just get the job done.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, there needs to be a statement today. A statement on the park, because the way Europe's gone for Celtic has not been ideal out with the Atletico Madrid game. I know they've played well in games, but playing well doesn't automatically win you games or get you points, and they've found that out the hard way. Teams are strong in Europe. They've also got the disappointment of the League Cup, in which they get put out in the first time of asking against Kilmarnock. The fact that they're faltering in the league, I don't like this narrative that's coming about. seems to be a tiny bit of negativity coming into things again. And it's been like that all season. It's been like this up and down roller coaster. So talking about, I think Celtic need to just get their consistency right, start winning games and winning games comfortably, and then they'll be feeling good about themselves once again. You know, they've got 2 competitions left to play for. They've got the league, which is the bread and butter, and they've got the Scottish Cup, of which they play Bucky Thistle in the first round since joining the competition. So they've got those 2 to focus on. They know that they've only got domestic games now until the end of the season. Those are the two competitions that Celtic have realistically got to win. They've got to win the 2 remaining competitions that they're in.
Well, that's exactly. There is no but clause in that one, Ryan. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they've got a League Cup double to win. Let's go and win it starting from today. Let's
Absolutely.
really set about your business, and because your decks are cleared. Sadly, the decks are cleared because you want the distraction of Europe, but Celtic haven't been able to, sufficiently step up to the plate in that arena enough this season. So that's it. Let's start today. Hectic running schedule coming up, the Christmas and the New Year. But as you've said before as well, I love this part of the season. I absolutely love it. So make it a feel-good factor for all the Celtic supporters. Go out there and just knock them down at Skittles, and and chalk up the victories. And start today in Perth. No, there's no reason for Celtic not to come here and win today. And as you say, if they do, then it'll feed into that negativity will start to keep in, won't it? You've got a chance to go 11 ahead for a couple of hours. Take it. Don't spun it like you did last week. Go and apply that pressure.
And they got away with it last week.
Yes, correct. They got away with one last week. So every chance you've got to apply any kind of pressure this season, you have to take that. And so by the time Rangers kick off today, Celtic could be 11 points clear. Pendulum swings back to Rangers, and that's not a gimme for them against St Mirren at Ibrox. So anything can happen, but we talk about it all the time. Control your own controllables. Lots of variables, but control them. Be in control of your destiny today in terms of winning the football match in 3 points. And you say, send out that statement of intent with a right good win and get that feel good factor back for yourselves as well. And don't let the Motherwell performance linger or anything like that. Put it to bed today.
Yeah, just going to bring up some comments regarding their predictions. The comments have been so kind as to put their predictions into the comment section, so I'll just read them out just now. Brown Warrior says 4-1 to the Celtic Kygo. I'm hoping that's 2 goals. 2 football emojis next to it. 5-0 says Edward Moore, Kygo hopefully. Yeah, I'd like to see a couple from Kygo today. 3-1 says TJ Lundy. 3-0 says Scott Dougal. Palmer first goal. I've got a funny feeling Palmer will score as well. Just gives me that sort of Dingwall vibes, the fact that he came on for 20 minutes and was instantly the main man. 3-1 Celtic says Hazel Finn, thank you as always for being in the comment section. Kyogo. 3-0 says Helen McCallum. That would take that as well. I think all of these would be good scores. Brian McGarry 3-0, that'll settle for any win. I'm of that opinion as well. Yeah, the win first and foremost. But I think the performance is just a little bit less important, but still really, really important in the grand scheme of things.
Win the game first and foremost, but I've got to be honest, I'd like to win with a wee bit of style today. Because I think there is negativity creeping in the background. I want to put it to bed. I want an Aberdeen assured performance. I want a Hearts at Tynecastle assured performance. Or Kilmarnock at home assured type of performance. Give us one of them and I'll be very happy. But first and foremost, win the game. But I don't want it to be a squeak, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. There needs to be a good performance as well as a good win today. I think if that is the case, then nobody will be complaining at the end of this match. There needs to feel good factor. I don't like saying this, but with a lot of the results in Europe this season, it's felt like Celtic are on a bit of a downer going into the game. It doesn't help the fact that they dropped points against Motherwell before the European game as well. So it's a double downer. So they need to get back into the swing of things. The best way to do that is by putting goals on the score sheet and points on the board as well.
You know my thoughts. I'm a big mood music man, and I think the mood music volume's pretty low at the minute, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Time to pump up the volume, as they say, Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. It's got to be. Thank you to everybody in the comment section for getting involved. 2-0 Celtic, says John. Stuffy game, get down the road. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's plain sailing. Edward Y of Oz has gone for a nothing each. I hope that's you not being too positive there with that. Belly says 2-0 to Celtic. Let's see if there's any more. Michael Ross is asking, please show who is on the bench. I'll just read out the bench once again. So on the bench today is Bain, Phillips, Holm, O, Tomoki, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston, and Mikey Johnson. So maybe not the strongest bench that Celtic have ever had. There's a couple of players maybe in the starting lineup that if you put them on the bench, it would make the team a lot stronger as a result. You know, we always talk about how Hatate's a big miss in that midfield. Counting down the days, I know I certainly am until he comes back into the starting lineup. That'll be a joyous day when that happens because I think he just brings such a difference. I don't think it's it's a coincidence that Celtic's level has dropped since he's not been in the team. I think he's the glue that sticks it together, but he's not there. You know, we can only talk about him so much. They've got to talk about the players that are there, and they've got to make a big difference in his absence.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I think every Celtic supporter is looking forward to such a dynamic presence being back in the team. But, you know, first and foremost, we concentrate on today, and you're hoping someone like Turnbull, you know, Palmer, O'Reilly, Kygo, you know, that kind of offensive players that we always talk about. So they're vitally important today. We spoke about them in glowing terms at Tynecastle, and it took them 3 minutes to win the football match because after Celtic scored the first goal at Tynecastle, you knew Celtic were going to win that football match. So hopefully something similar can happen today. Like Turnbull, O'Reilly, Palmer, Kygo, Yang can, you know, make a meaningful impact very early and derive, you know, what happens in this football match. And, you know, get Celtic over the line and with a bit of style, of course. Yeah, we always want to win, but I want a performance today just to kind of shake off that Motherwell, you know, lacklustre, turgid, call it what you want, display Ryan. But I'm looking for some big things from Celtic today, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And fingers crossed they can deliver that and get 3 points. You know, put the pressure on their rivals who kick off at 3 p.m. today. Got to insert that pressure. You know, there's no point in coming to these games and not getting the 3 points. Got to get the 3 points back down the road and then see what happens at 3 o'clock. Thank you, Tony. And I realise it's half an hour before the game starts. So I'll let you get into position and we'll get started with regard to the instant analysis, which will be minutes after the game. We'll try and get that out to you as soon as possible. Once again, guys, thank you very much to everybody that has joined us on the show today. Once again, our sponsors are MPH Group. They are Scotland's award-winning family-run all-trade specialists covering all of mainland Scotland. Winter's rolling in, winter's already here, and if you're thinking of giving your home heating system a boost, MPH has a winter promotion just for you. When you opt for a Navien Boiler installation, you're not only choosing top-tier efficiency, but you're getting a free Navien Internet Controller, which can crank up your boiler's efficiency to an impressive 98%, and they're covering the first year's service, no added costs. The Navien ON range also comes with an up to 12 years and parts and labour warranty, which is some serious peace of mind. MPH even offer flexible finance options, so gear up for the chill and consider making a smart move with MPH and Navien. All the links are in the description for plumbing, heating, kitchens and bathroom work, and we thank MPH Group and Navien for sponsoring today's video, as they do with every video. Tony, thank you very much. I'll let you get into position for the game this afternoon. Fingers crossed it's 3 points for Celtic. Celtic get back on the winning trail, on the winning hunt, and we can talk about a good performance after the game. We'll be back maybe about an hour or so after the game once the press conferences are all over to discuss everything that's happened in the game. Tony, enjoy the game.
Thanks very much. Result dependent, guys. All right, we shall speak to you later. But thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that. Take care.
Thank you, guys, and we will catch you all after the game. Cheers, guys.